Let's talk about comment injection. Comment injection is one of the most common and no doubt dangerous vulnerabilities existing in applications. Its essence is really simple. Our application forms a string and sends it to OS command shell for execution. If user input gets into a line without any processing, it will lead to the fact that the user can change the command progress and even execute his own command. Let's look how it happens. Suppose we have some ping PHP script. It takes IP address value that the user passed in the get parameter. Then it substitutes this value into the ping command and executes it. Thus, if the user transmitted the IP address 8888, the ping command will be executed. However, since the command generation occurs without any processing, the user could pass a string with some kind of control character. For example, a semicolon which will be interpreted at the beginning of the next command, passing the value 123, who am I, at the IP address. Ping command will be executed first, and then the who am I command. That's what command injection vulnerability looks like in the most simplified version. How could it be detected during testing? First, there are various characters that allow you to separate command execution, run them in parallel, or redirect the result of the execution to a file or to another command. During testing, we don't know which command and which arguments are executed for sure. So, we need to try varieties and combinations of special characters. Also, in most cases, we can't see the command result on the screen. To do this, you could use sleep commands, which will slow down the command execution on server, or make DNS request that we could track. By combining these commands with special characters and observing the response from the server, we could judge whether the functionality has vulnerability. How could these command injection vulnerabilities be detected if we have access to source code? I should say that all programming languages have functions that allow you to execute certain commands in operation systems. Besides, they have self-explanatory names, spawn, exec, system, etc. So it's enough to search by these names and explore the data that are input in these functions. However, there are already some tools on market that not only look for vulnerabilities in the code, but also show how user input can fall into these functions. There are both paid and free tools. However, when choosing a tool, you need to pay attention to the fact that it's really geared to find vulnerabilities, not just a static analysis. Vulnerability may be simple but widespread. This example illustrates the exec function which passed the string that received user input. Exec called the unrar command as one of the arguments and got the file name. The user passed the file name in the request. Using double quote and pipe character, he could pass a file name that would allow him to execute his own command, such as id. Another interesting example is that the vulnerability can be found in many different libraries the application uses. For example, ImageMagick, in which comment injection vulnerability was discovered when processing special images. What was going on? ImageMagick, when converting an image, could call the OS command, in which it substituted parameters obtained from the image. When forcing such command, there was a vulnerability. For example, if we had an application that would process the user pictures using ImageMagick library, for example, loading an avatar, the user could transmit a specific image, and its processing would lead to vulnerability. Please note that there is no vulnerability in our code, but it is in the component we used. And this situation could be serious. We have an application that consists of large numbers of services, and each can use a huge number of different libraries. Once a vulnerability is detected in such library or a component, even if we didn't develop it, our entire application will be at risk. How to avoid command injection vulnerabilities? Well, first, filter all special characters of user input when formatting a command. Second, use functions of framework and the programming language which are recommended for safe comment formation. And finally, if it's possible, do not use this function at all. So, let's do some practice.